Welcome to the Deep Dives. Today we're really digging into something practical, an account called A Day in Emily's Life Practicing Daily Routines and Common Expressions.
We've got these excerpts that basically follow this one person, Emily, showing how she, consistently weaves language learning into her normal day.
Exactly. It's not about intensive study sessions. She's a graphic designer, 26, living in London. We see these small, almost mundane ways she interacts with English all day long.
Right. And what we want to do is go a bit deeper than just describing it.
Yeah, we're aiming to pull out the useful bits for you. The vocabulary, common phrases, sure, but really the strategies. What makes her routine actually work for building fluency?
By looking closely at her day, we can kind of see how that consistent small-scale engagement adds up to real progress.
Okay, so let's jump in. Emily's day. It starts predictably in the morning.
7 a.m. apparently.
Yeah.
And the first thing, hits the snooze button for 5 minutes.
Totally relatable. Then, the usual drill. Gets up, quick stretch, bathroom wash face, brush teeth, shower. Then throws on some comfy clothes.
Pretty standard stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing unusual there, but it's what she does next that kind of sets the stage for her learning.
Right. Before 8.0, while she's having breakfast, just something light, toast and coffee, maybe cereal, she's got an English podcast playing.
And this seems important. The account says she actually enjoys this, specifically likes learning new vocabulary this way.
Yeah, and today's topic was about staying motivated with language learning. She found it interesting, helpful.
So it's not just background chatter. It's like focused listening on something relevant to her right at the start of the day.
She's basically layering learning onto something she has to do anyway. Eating, simple, right, but effective.
Then 8 a.m., getting ready for work, casual outfit, blouse, jeans, sneakers, packs her bag, laptop, notebook, water bottle.
Does that final check keys, phone, wallet? We all do that little dance.
Yep. But as she walks out the door, heads to the bus stop, it's only a 5-minute walk, she finds another little window for practice.
While she's waiting there, she gets her phone out, uses an app.
Okay, and what's she doing on the app?
Reviewing English phrases. And we actually get the specific ones for today. I'm running late. I'll be there in 10 minutes. And can we reschedule?
See, those are super useful. Not grammar rules, but actual things you might need to say in a hurry. Turning that dead time at the bus stop into active recall. Smart.
And then she gets on the bus. The ride's about 25 minutes. She likes looking out the window, people watching.
Which is nice, just zoning out a bit.
But she's also got her headphones on again, listening to more English audio.
Right. So this time it seems more focused on just improving listening comprehension over that longer period. The whole commute becomes this kind of double opportunity.
Yeah, like a quick active review, then sustained listening practice. So she gets to work, greets colleagues. Good morning. How's everyone doing? The account mentions they respond warmly, and importantly, she feels way more confident speaking English now compared to a year ago.
And you have to think the confidence comes directly from all these little bits of practice, right? These low-stakes moments she creates.
Absolutely. And her actual workday offers more chances. Emails, online meetings, even designing posters might involve English text. Plus, she writes messages to clients in English.
That's real communication, with consequences if it's not clear.
And she's got a smart habit there. She always checks her grammar before sending anything important.
Good move. That's building accuracy. It turns that practical need into a sort of mini lesson, a feedback loop.
Okay, lunch call. 12:30. She goes out with a coworker, Sarah, to a cafe. And interestingly, Sarah's learning Spanish.
Oh, okay. So that probably leads to some shop talk about language learning itself.
It does. They chat about it, and Emily shares a tip with Sarah, watching English videos with subtitles.
Which is clearly something Emily herself does and finds useful. It reinforces her own methods just by talking about them. And it shows that peer support, even just chatting about how you learn, can be valuable.
Yeah. The afternoon's busy at work. She wraps up around 5:30, leaves the office, decides to walk part of the way home. Good for exercise, fresh air.
And then gets home, and the learning starts up again almost immediately. Changes into PJs, relaxes on the sofa.
And puts on a short English video on YouTube.
Okay, what kind of video?
This one's about cooking vocabulary. And the account makes a point of saying she prefers videos with real people speaking natural English.
That's key. Getting away from textbook dialogues and hearing how people actually talk, the rhythm, the slang, the ums and ahs. Plus, it's targeted vocabulary for cooking, which connects to her next activity.
Exactly. She starts making dinner pasta with vegetables. And while she's cooking, she does something really interesting. She talks to herself.
In English.
In English, yeah. Like narrating her actions. The account gives examples. Now I'm boiling water, or let me chop the carrots.
Okay, why does she do that? What's the benefit?
Well, the account says it's specifically to practice thinking in English. It forces her brain to connect the action, the thought, directly to the English words without translating internally first.
Right. It's like building that direct pathway. Internal narration. That's a really powerful technique for fluency, for making the language more automatic.
Seems like it. Then after dinner, another learning method. She writes a short journal entry. In English, of course.
What does she write about?
Her day, mainly. What she learned, how she felt. We even get a little snippet. Today I listened to a podcast about motivation. I also practice speaking by repeating expressions. I feel happy with my progress.
Okay, so the writing serves a different purpose. It's more reflective, helps consolidate the vocabulary and grammar she encountered during the day, lets her construct sentences deliberately, plus it tracks her progress, which feeds back into motivation.
Exactly. And then finally winding down for the night, maybe around 10:30. She reads a bit.
An English book.
Yep, an English novel, but one aimed at intermediate learners. So it's challenging but not overwhelming.
And her approach to reading is interesting, too. She tries to understand from context first, without immediately reaching for a dictionary. She underlines new words, guesses the meaning.
That's such a crucial skill, right? Learning to handle unknown words. Just like you have to in a real conversation, it builds resilience. Active reading, not just word-for-word decoding.
Definitely. And the day ends with her feeling proud of what she did and looking forward to learning more tomorrow. That positive reinforcement loop is vital for keeping it up long term.
So let's zoom out for a second. Looking at Emily's whole day, what does it really tell us about learning a language effectively?
Well, what really jumps out is the sheer variety of things she does, woven into these tiny pockets of time that everyone has. It's not just one magic method.
Right, it's a mix.
Yeah, you've got passive listening, the podcast, the bus audio, you've got active practice, the app, the self-talk, you've got structured output, the journal, exposure to authentic stuff, the videos, the novel, even checking her work emails. It's all in there.
And these specific actions, they kind of demonstrate bigger learning principles, don't they? Things we see in the source material.
Absolutely. Things like consistency, doing these small things every single day. Using context, guessing words, understanding natural speech patterns, the importance of repetition, reviewing those phrases, and finding content that connects with her personally, the motivation podcast, the cooking video.
She's not trying to magically find an extra hour. She's cleverly layering English onto things she's already doing anyway. Commuting, eating, cooking.
That makes it sustainable. It doesn't feel like this huge, separate task you have to schedule. It becomes part of the fabric of the day.
It's like transforming those everyday routines, the unavoidable bits, into chances for, real engagement with English.
Exactly. And the conclusion in the source material really nails it. Doing this kind of thing consistently, getting all this comprehensible input language you mostly get, even if parts are new day after day, that's what leads to speaking and understanding more naturally, more fluently over time.
Which really brings us to the key question for you listening to this. Thinking about your own day, your own routines, how can you find those moments?
Where you're 5 minutes waiting for something, or your 20-minute commute, or the time you spend cooking or winding down.
How could you layer in a little bit of this comprehensible input listening, maybe talking to yourself, reading something manageable, to nudge yourself towards that more natural fluency?
Yeah, look at your own 24 hours. It's less about finding huge blocks of time and more about building these small, consistent habits.
Well, thanks for diving into Emily's day with us. Hopefully seeing her very practical, very integrated approach gives you some fresh ideas for your own language learning journey.